Hi, everybody. It's Mike Newman. It's November 3rd, Rollvember 3rd. We've gone from Rocktober to Rollvember. November 3rd, first day of standard um, time. And so instead of skipping back, no, we fell back. We fell back an hour. But welcome to Sunday Night with ILXCTF. I'm your host, Mike Newman. Wisconsin. Uh, so Emma Watke, when she was running at Wisconsin, she gave me this hat. And this is from Mr. Liking. And Bobby Liking won his fourth straight um, Big Ten championship. So well done, Mr. Liking. Great job. Can't wait to see what you do in the next couple of weeks in November, Championship November. Uh, we have a lot of things to discuss, don't you think? um, so, oh, and I forgot too. North Central. I have like a 5 million North Central hats. But we won our 50th straight conference title, and you're like, oh, big deal. CCIW isn't that tough? Yeah, but North Central, what, 19, 20 national championships. I guess that doesn't mean anything either. So there was some bunderhead or whatever on X uh, that said something like that, and I'm like, boy, I'm glad I'm not talking. I'm staying off of social media for the next week. Oh my gosh. Um, so let's talk about this. No notes either, so this should be fun. But I've been writing all day, so the recaps or the highlights from all three classes will be up when you wake up on Monday morning or tonight, because I'm almost done with it. But we'll start with 1A, 2A, 3A, and we'll go that way. But we'll go through 1A, some of the highlights from Class 1A sectionals yesterday. Yeah, yesterday. And then we'll go to 2A, and then we'll go to 3A, the big garbanzo at the end. Uh, in 1A, on the girls' side, Tolono Unity looked good, um, winning their sectional at Toledo Cumberland. Uh, ahead of Shelbyville, I think it was 79-126, something like that. The race of the day there was Isabella Keller winning by 1 second over Kate Foltz of Tuscola. So what does that mean? I don't know. Did Keller just hold on and then kick at the end? Um, that's a possibility. It's a big possibility. But that means we're going to see a good race next week at Detweiller Park. Anna Jonesboro, they really look good. And I think they can substitute runners in there because I didn't see another one of their freshmen. Sophia Hill was in there, but Bert Boondrin or whatever, I didn't see her in there. So Anna Jonesboro is loaded, and they may have the slight edge on Williamsville. Williamsville ran a good race. Uh, you know, 5 runners in the top 30, I believe, winning that sectional at Elmwood was loaded. It was absolutely loaded. And you see, who was it? Elmwood, the sixth team, made it in. Springfield Sacred Heart Griffin, who was ranked number 7, didn't make it in. That's how tough that sectional was. The other two sectionals, Winnebago uh, at Rock Island Element, cruised to a win. They were ranked number 4. Do they get a trophy? And here again, they won 3 state championships in a row. They roll a little bit, rebuild, and now here we are. Bago's ready to go for this next weekend at Lyle. Wow. I got a text from Dan Daly earlier in the last week going, Mia Kotler's running. I'm like, okay. She hasn't run all year. She finished second in that race behind Kyla Babb of Westmont. Babb's been running great this year, the senior. But Kotler, 17:52 to start out. That's pretty good. I think Babb was like 1737, 17, something like that. Um, but Bab winning that. The thing with Latin School, well, I had Latin School ranked 13th. Throw Kotler in there, and if Ellie Anderson has a foot issue, that's what I was told. Um, she could be back this week. That makes, along with Francesca Lara, the freshman, that makes that team pretty tough. So that makes things interesting. We'll have to wait and see what happens during the week. On the boys' side, he had the top three teams at Elmwood. And Elmwood is peaking at the right time like they usually do. So now, I've known this for a while, and I think everybody else knows this at this point, that Elmwood runs in training flats, maybe racing flats, I don't know, training flats during the season. And talking to Mike Sullivan at Amboy in October, he's like, "Yeah, we're still doing that. We're not ready. We're not ready to go into spikes yet. Maybe regionals." So if they wore spikes in regionals, yeah, I'm sure they wore spikes on their home course, and they won convincingly, 53 to 93. Rika, Peoria Notre Dame was third. Max Kirby of Peoria Notre Dame winning it. Those are the top three ranked teams. So there's two other sectionals that could produce a state team champion here. One is one is Rock Island Element. I really think so. Rockford Christian had raced Winnebago 3 weeks in a row. They got him this time, a week before state, so we'll see what happens there. Those teams are awfully close. So Rockford Christian, they just race, and they race one race at a time, not looking at the prize at the end of the tunnel. They think about that, but winning sectional, I think, was a surprise for them. So Winnebago, Nikolai Martino winning that race, and then Andrew Currian of Rockford Christian getting second. Good one, too, there. Anything could happen there. And I think the other sectional is Lyle. Aurora Central Catholic, we saw them earlier in the year at first to the finish, and they lost by 2 points to Eureka. Well, Aurora Central Catholic is coming on strong. They won by 15 points over a good Niles Northridge prep team, 42 to 57, something like that. So anything can happen in that, in Class 1A. Also, Benton did run one of their runners, a sophomore, Briggs Miller. They still had three runners in the top five. So their fourth and fifth runners were just too far back last week, or on Saturday on their home course where they got third. Murfreesboro and Pinckneyville. Murfreesboro was kind of a surprise there, winning it. And then in the other sectional, it's Toledo Cumberland. Hey, Georgetown Notre Dame de la Salette. They're a new program. They're not the traditionals like St. Joe Ogden or Elmwood or any of these schools in 1A. Yet they had John Browner, their top runner up front, and then they had four runners like 20 seconds within each other from 20th to 28th place, something like that. And they won by about 20, 25 points ahead of St. Joe Ogden and Urbana University. So they won a regional title. I think only in 4 or 5 years they've won a regional title, and then they win sectionals yesterday. That's pretty good. Individually, Martino. Yes. Who else? Gabe McLean running 14:09 on his home course. And, Gavin Genesio ran 13:46, I want to say, along with Isaac Teal, was under 14 minutes. So to get close to 14 minutes on that course is 2.92-mile course. That's pretty good. So McLean and Genesio, he's in Tennessee. Gosh, it's been a long weekend. McLean and Martino. Those are the two of the runners to watch in that. Who else? Who else? Who else? Maybe Max Kirby from Peoria, Notre Dame. We'll have to wait and see. Tucker Hinkle of Eureka. So wide open there in Class 1A. So we'll do an outro from Class 1A now. Well, let's go to 2A. 4 sectionals. Interesting. We'll start with the girls. The earliest sectional run in the state, in the history of state sectional meets. And remember, sectionals didn't start till, I don't know, it used to be just district meets at state, then it went to district sectionals, but an 8 a.m. starting time at KLM for that. St. Ignatius is still, I think, the team to beat. They won over DePaul College Prep and also St. Francis. St. Francis has everybody back now. So they had the 2 great runners with Maminga and Erin Hinsdale, Elena Maminga and Erin Hinsdale, and Margaret Andrzejewski is back. She's missed the last 2-3 weeks. She's back in sections. She got 21st. She'll be closer this week. A good rust buster for her at that course. So those 3 teams, and then Annika Swan, geez, 16:37 on that course. And I think she was probably just cruising it. So running 16:37 on that course, pretty good. Pretty good indeed. What else? Rockford Boylan, they're a dark horse to finish in the top 3. They were ranked number 8. They won their sectional ahead of a good Crystal Lake South team. And I had Crystal Lake Central ranked 27th going into that meet in Class 2A. But they have Hadley Ferrero back, who's back for the regional meet, and she boosted them to 3rd place. So don't count out the Tigers there. Good team. Good team. At Metamora. So Sunny Weber, 16:22 on that course. I think that's a course record. And then Zoe Carter was 31 seconds behind in second. Morton running really well right now. They were ranked 9th going into the race, but they beat Washington by 6 points. 2 good teams from the Mid-Illini going at it, running well. I think Morton went 11, 12, 13, something like that. 4th runner was 19th, and their 5th runner was a little bit back. Same thing with Washington. Nice pack. 5th runner was a little far back. But Weber, Carter, do you think Carter just kind of shut down a little bit getting ready for this weekend? I don't know. Zoe's a great runner, All-American, 2-time All-American, going after a state championship in her final time. So hopefully she runs a great race, and we'll see what happens there. And who else, too? I think we've mentioned 3. Yeah, we mentioned 3. I'm asleep here. The 4th one is only Richland County, which had a few people text me going, hey, it measures 3:05. So that's what we changed it to. So the times were pretty fast on that. Cameron Crump of Waterloo just announced that she's going to attend Illinois State, so good for her. But Crump won that race pretty easily. Chatham Glenwood, ranked number 2 in the state, defending state champion, only lost was to St. Ignatius by 7 points at Lake Sunset the week before conference week. The one concern is Allie Lundgren, who's been under the weather the last few weeks. And she's coming back. She ran a better race this week, but in the last 2 weeks, she hasn't been running that well. Well, she's been running well, but not a Lundgren. kind of race where she's way up there running fast time. She would have been closer to Crump. But Chatham Glenwood still wins. And they're going to need their best race of the year to get close to St. Ignatius. Rochester's running real well right now. The two Zybert sisters, Brooke and Ashley, third and sixth. For one of the sisters, the other one got sixth. So those two teams, interesting. Individually, Swan. I'm going to say Swan. Maminga was in that race, and so was Delilah Hellenhouse. Been Academy. She looks like she's healthy again. She got third in that race at Hinsdale South. Team-wise, I really think it's the two teams that we've talked about all year. St. Ignatius has a great 1-2 punch, and St. Ignatius has 4 freshmen in the top 7 and a 5th runner who's just out for the team this year. So how does that affect them? They're young, a young team running at state the first time, but it's nice when you have 2 runners that could finish in the top 5 with Swan and the freshman. I can't remember her name, but she's good. She's really good. She'll finish in the top 5, I think. So I think there's no questions there. There are a lot of questions on the boys' side. We'll start at Hinsdale South again. 2 of the top 3 teams in boys class 2A. Peyton edged Lanton 61-68. Lanton ran all of their runners. Peyton didn't. Gabriel Cooper is one of their top runners on their team. Did not run. So, but they did get help from Tremonti Williams. Declan Slavin is doing Declan Slavin things. Starting the year out under control, and now here he is, their second runner, and he's running good. Same thing with Lanton. Lanton, I think, had 5 runners in the top 28, something like that. But to be within 7 points of Peyton, that's a good thing. So those are the 2 teams that I would keep an eye on. Marmion had a nice pack. They finished 3rd. They were ranked 12th in state, but they were a distant 3rd, about 60 points behind Marmion, behind Lanton and Peyton. That's one. Caneland. So now here are 2 more teams to keep an eye on. Dixon and Caneland. It was 2 points at regionals. Dixon had the advantage. Caneland wins on their home course. A 5-point difference between them and Dixon. Caneland has a powerful front 3 with Evan Nosek, one of the favorites in the individual race. Finn Richards ran a fantastic race at Hinsdale, running 14:10. Ahead of Thomas Jochum of Glenbard South, who ran 14:17, 14:18. Those 2 guys are going to be in the front this Saturday. But when you have Nosek, you have the freshman Kaiser, and you have Ethan Wilton, something, and you know who I'm talking about. When you have 3 runners in the top 7 there, the 4th and 5th runners are a little bit back. So they need good races from the top 3 runners. Could they have 3 runners in the top 20? Definitely. Nosek's going to be going for the win. But those 2 teams, Dean Geiger was the number 1 runner for Dixon. Aaron Connery was the number 2 runner. They're interchangeable in the top, and they're going to have runners up there too. But they have a tight pack, and that could be the difference. And then challenging the 2 Chicago schools from the Hinsdale sectional. At Metamora, Morton. Now, Christian Harris has been their number 1 runner most of the year, but Boston Beyer stepped in as their number 1 runner. But Morton looks good. They really looked good. They won over Washington. Washington's a good team. Finkelberger and Fisher Rinkenberger and and Ben Gorsuch were third and fourth in that race behind individual winner Gavin O'Connor of Brother Rice. Outkicked Kyler Swanson of Morris by less than a second. So cool finishing race there. At Richland County, the one team that I thought about, I'm like, this is deja vu for Marion. Marion was ranked number 10th coming in, but they finished third. Their fifth runner is back, and they need to move him up. They have a good four. They have led by Gabriel and Raphael Greer. Gabriel Greer ran 14:57 for 3.05 miles, so that's pretty good. So, like last year, Marion just snuck up on people, and I told you on this show a year ago, keep an eye on Marion. They're good. Let's see what Marion has this weekend. But they've established themselves as a class program. They have class coaches and class fans. Good bunch of people surrounding that team. And the kids are great also. So, but Highland winning that. Highland was a surprise. They have three brothers in there. I can't remember their names, but they're the Knobloch brothers. So they had three runners that are in their top five. Pretty good. And then Muhammad Seymour was in the middle. And then Marion was third. So keep an eye on Marion. We'll see. They may finish in the top five. We'll see. I'm just guessing. I haven't figured everything out yet. I did pretty good. If you look at my previews, like in the one sectional at Hoffman States, these four teams are ranked in the 14. They should get in. But keep an eye on Libertyville. Libertyville gets in. And they ran a great race. Hersey didn't run their best race of the year. They missed by 2 points, I think. Ooh, we haven't gotten to 3A yet. Shut up, Mike. So, individually, Richards, Jokum, Gavin O'Connor, maybe. Gabriel Greer, Raphael Greer, they ran together. They were separated by a little bit on Saturday. And then Evan Nosak leading the way in that race. So, yeah, we're going over 30 minutes. So let's go to 3A. I went to two meets. I really was tempted to go to Hinsdale, get the 4 races in there. We've seen some great racing, and then driven 95 miles an hour up 355 to get to Lake Park on time. So it made more sense to go to Bussey Woods and to go to Lake Park. And the videos are up of those races. Highlights of the videos are up. Thank you for the people that. Oh, I'll stay out of your eye, and then pops up. And you blocked my shot. Talked to a lot of nice people at a lot of nice fans. Talked to Ben Crane too after his race. Ben played around in that race. That's what he said. And he took off. And he takes off and takes it easy and runs 14:14 on that course. It's not a flat course. It's little rolls here and there that make it a little bit of a challenge. But Crane won. He took off in the last 1K ahead of Joe Brangenzer, who ran 14:25. To Evan Parker. Keep an eye on Evan Parker on Saturday. He's going to surprise. He shouldn't be surprising a lot of people, but he's going to be up there. So he ran 14:30 and he got third. New Trier won. Nice pack. What a 14-second split from 2 to 5 with Crane getting single digits at state. The interesting thing is going to be, where does that pack start and how far behind is it from Crane? There were 7 ranked teams in there, and we said that. Like Zurich looked good. Palatine, ooh, um, they ran a great regional race. This wasn't their best race at sectionals. O'Sullivan and Krieg flipped them around. They were fifth and sixth. And then Carter Hayes was 22nd. And then their fourth and fifth runners were close together, but they were back, like they've been running all year. So let's see what changes this coming week at Detweiller. Prospect looked good. Barrington looked good. And then, like I said, Friend made it in. And then Libertyville. Libertyville ran a great race. So last they lost to Lake Zurich at North Suburban, but the margin wasn't super big. Then they ran a good race at regional behind Barrington and Lake Zurich, and then they get third. Pretty sneaky team, but congratulations to the Tigers making it down state. I feel sorry for Hersey, missing by 2 points. On the girls' side, Mia Serwa. And I think I said in the video, you got to be kidding me. She was 14 seconds ahead of her teammate Scout Storms at the first checkpoint where I was filming, just after the mile. 40 seconds ahead at 2 miles. She went through in about 10:45, 10:50, something like that. And then she wins by 58 seconds. So Barrington, running 4 runners in the top 11. Good. The 5th runner was 20th. It makes things interesting. Prospect is running better. 3-4 finish from Veronica Sineda. Meg Peterson, good to talk to them again. They're silly. But boy, can they run. So Prospect finished second. Hersey looks like they're healthy again. They finished third. Madeline Bialco finished sixth there. Then to Lake Park. York girls, the one thing with the York girls is they had good competition with Batavia. Batavia has a great first 4. But man, oh man, their 5th runner is back. And that, if they can get a great race from their 5th, 6th, and 7th runners on Saturday, they may be in the top 5. They may be hunting for a trophy. But their first 4 are great, with Hacker and Cassidy and Gwen Nodal. So, and there was one other runner, Claire Davis or whatever. So Barrington had a nice pack. York girls were close. Barrington and York were going back and forth. But when you have Carlin Janowski, there's 1 point there. Batavia had Avery Hacker. That's 2 points. But York girls moved nicely in that final last mile. So they had 5 runners in the first 13. Maggie Quinn ran a great race as their number 2 runner. But York winning by about 20 points. I want to say 53 to 70 or so. It was like 20 points, 60 to 84, or x to the y square minus. Sorry, Charlie. In the boys' race, it was York. No runners in the top 10, but when you have a tight split, I think they had a 26-second split on their first through 5 runners, led by Patrick McGrail and Carter Olson and Zach Saltiel. They have a tight pack. They weren't running without their freshman, Patrick Hill, and he'll be running on Saturday. So that makes that pack even tighter. And they won by about 30 points ahead of Batavia and Wheaton Warrenville South. It's going to be interesting. And the boys I got the hiccups. No, not 30 minutes into the show. Um, so they went through 2 miles in the boys' race in 9:57 with uh, Josiah and Ariana, who kept his shoes on. He said he tied them extra tight. Jacob Barassa, Tommy Nitz were three of the runners. And finally, with 500 meters to go, Barassa checks out. And checking out is an old term going, see you later, I'm going. And he won 14:35 after going out at 9:57. That's an insane last quarter to get down to because they were just moving, cruising along. Narayanan tried to go with them, but it wasn't that day. So it was like 14:35. Narayanan was 14:39. I think O'Connor third. Girls race, same thing. Janowski went out. She had the lead. She was leading throughout, but she didn't break everybody until like about the mile and a half, just before 2 miles. That's when she took off. So she ran a good race. Hacker ran a great race. Maddie Romaine has been running great all year from Wheaton North. She ran great. She got third. Madeline Cassidy of Batavia was Batavia's #2 runner. She finished fourth, and then Nicole Podlish ran a good race. Great race. She ran a great race. Ran 17:24 to finish fifth. So it's going to be interesting. There's going to be a few teams. Crying kid. So two down. Hinsdale. Downers Grove North, 28, Naperville North, 58 in the girls' race. Downers Grove North, 5 runners in the top 9. That's going to be tough. But their split is out there. They'll get a little tighter. They'll run a lot tighter at state because they did it last year where they got 4 all-state runners. They could have had 4. They could have had 5 with Ava Gilly getting in there. Naperville North ran a good race. 3 runners in the top 11 with Barris and the 2 Tandon sisters. Their pack, I think their 4th runner was 17, 5th runner was 28. But they're going to be in the hunt. The individual race, Annalise Oneda from Willowbrook hasn't been in those big money races, the big races during the year, yet she comes out, runs the same time as Anna Kutzwan. I think 16:35 for 2.9 miles is fantastic. She could finish in the top 10. But a great race by Oneda and Willowbrook. Great job for her. No real surprise. Oh, yes, one real surprise in the girls' race. Downers Grove South. I am so happy for them. They were building up during the year. They didn't have their top runner, Holly Johnson. And Holly Johnson said, I want to help my teammates. I'm going to get better, and I'm going to show everybody else that I'm coming back. She was only their 4th runner on the team, but gives them a big boost with leadership and everything else. They're such a young team. And Downers Grove South finished 7th. They make it to state. They weren't ranked all year. Who cares if you're not ranked during the year? They're going to state. Great job by the Mustangs. Great job by Doug Plunkett coaching them. Hinsdale Central made it. Wabansie Valley, shout out to them. First time they've made it to the state meet, so great for them. Naperville Central was behind Naperville North and third, then Wabansie. Hinsdale Oswego East ran a good race, and then Hinsdale Central qualifies once again. And then Downer South. Neuqua Valley missed by, I think, 10 points. On the boys' side, so for the 3rd race in a row, Twilight, Conference, they didn't run regionals, and then sectionals, a 1-2 finish. I've never seen that before between Philip Supio and Grant Schroeder. 3-second difference, 14:07. And considering the fact, keep this in mind, Supio ran 14:22 earlier in the year at Twilight. Running 14:07, Crane at the beginning of the year ran 13:57. So do you see Supio and Schroeder maybe in the top 5? I think so. I really think so. They didn't run their 5th runner. John Courtney didn't run. for the Trojans, but they did have Will Surratt finished 5th, Brady Travers finished 9th, and I can't remember your name, John. I remember your first name, but I don't remember your last name. But he finished 21st. So John, 21st. But a good run by Downers Grove North. And they're the number 1 team. They're the team to beat, I think. Plainfield North, we'll get to them. But Lyons Township was second with 112. No surprises there. Berwyn, Cicero, Morton made it in with the 17. There's a big gap between them and Hinsdale Central. At Normal Community, Ledesma wins by almost a minute. It's going to be, everybody's going, well, watch for Sirois. I want to see Ledesma go after Sirois. Let's see what happens. Sirois didn't know that the course record at Detweiller was for 1553.8. I know it. But it's pronounced Sirois. That's not Sirois. Sirois. French. Very French. So Ledesma wins by a minute. Manuka had a nice pack from 2 to 5. Nas was 10th. I think they went 10 through 19 with 4 runners in there. And they won by about 20 points over Edwardsville. Plainfield North didn't. You can run 4 different kind of psychological races during regional conference to state. He's talking upstairs. Yeah, that's it. Yeah, that's a ticket. Edwardsville second, Plainfield North third. And I mean, we said it was going to be close for the final 2 spots, but Lincoln Way East getting 7th, 1 point ahead of Lockport, and another 2 points ahead of Norman West, who didn't make it either. Manuka's a good team. They're going to be in the trophy hunt. So many teams in the trophy hunt, and I think we pretty much know who they are right now. I said Prospect has improved. Their pack has improved. So I keep an eye on them next week. And the boys' side, Plainfield North over Plainfield South. Edwardsville third. Edwardsville looked okay. They didn't run one of their runners, top 5 runners. The freshman and the sophomore, Luchon, Colton or Colin Luchon, didn't run. So we expect him to be in there next week. So Dylan Maloney, 14:36, won by 7 seconds over Thomas Serwinski. So I think I've gone 38 minutes. That's the longest show of the day. But one more thing. A lot of things great happened at the 2 sectional sites I did. And you know me. I'm breaking my butt trying to go from point to point to get good race video and trying to get interviews. Sometimes it's impossible. Sometimes you have to be lucky and get the runners at the right time. I didn't think I was going to get Avery Hacker. Yet I'm walking along and she's there with her teammates. Bam! I got her. I think it was cool that Adley Wilson of St. Charles East, she said one time to her mom, my brother's got interviewed all the time by Mr. Newman. And I told her mom, I'm like, hey, if she qualifies for state, I'll interview her. I interviewed her. So I thought that was a nice thing. So I wish I could interview every runner in state, but I can't, every runner at state. I don't get a ton of interviews at state. You just have to be lucky to get the people at the right time. I get more 3A runners because I can get them at the end of the race. I can get them during the awards. That's the way it is. So I wish I could get everybody, but then I get home and I get an email from a coach I'm not going to say where, but said this person should have been interviewed. And don't come by me on Friday and Saturday. Okay. But that hurt. I'm busting my butt. And that's all you have to say on that. And there was other things too. Had to put a few results up in class 3A. Oh no, in all three classes we were 12 out of 15 when I got home. So that went okay. And then I've been writing all day. Videos are up, like I said, on Runner Space. And let's go have fun on Saturday. Maybe rain. Maybe rain. I'm hoping not. We're going to get rain tomorrow. I think tonight we're going to get rain tonight, and that's going to let up tomorrow. So everybody that's going after a hard final run on Monday, I hope you get it in. But then I'll see you at Detweiller on Friday and Saturday. Should be fun. Realize your dreams. Go after it. Have a smile on your face when you cross the line, regardless if you met your goal or you didn't get it. You ran in the Illinois State meet, and that you have a lot to be proud of if you made it to this point. So that's all I'm going to say. We're at 41 minutes, and that's way too long. My voice is starting to go now. So previews will be up later this week. Have a great week, everybody. We'll see you on Friday at Detweiller or Saturday. This is Mike Newman from ILXCTF.com. Talk to you soon.